try to get it moving. But let me just play what he said first. Then I'm going to go to somebody else. But let me go to Representative Mike Rogers, again, a Republican from Michigan. Go ahead, Devin.
Nobody talks about the security of this site, and the private information does not meet even the minimal standards of the private sector. And that concerns me. I don't care if you're for it or against it, Republican or Democrat. We should not tolerate the sheer level of incompetence securing this site. And remember how much personal information is not only there, but all of the sites that the hub accesses would expose Americans' personal information in a way that is breathtakingly bad.
You know, and this goes to what I said last week when I was talking about, I don't understand how it'd be possible for anybody to go to this website, put their personal information in there. You've got to be out of your mind to do it. Forget about the healthcare issue of it, and forget about the healthcare not working, all those things. Forget about all that. I mean, just think about exposing all of your personal information. Before you do it, you better get some identification protection, because it's nuts. Here's the thing that I said last week. I said, look, folks, a bank robber doesn't rob a bank while the bank is being built, right? There's nothing in there. They wait until it gets filled with riches, so to speak. Then they're going to rob it, right? Do you really think the true experts, the professional thieves, are robbing this website now as to throw a red flag up? Or do you think they're going to wait until they get 30, 40, 50 million people registered? They're going to wait until it's filled. Can you imagine what it's going to look like a month from now? So that's one warning. Then a fellow by the name of James Capriata from the Ethics and Policy Center was talking about the fix to the website. So it would appear as though it's fixed, right? But listen to what he says.
The real test of healthcare.gov is whether or not you make the right payment for the right people to the right insurance plan. It's very easy to fix the front-end enrollment if you turn off controls on the back end. And it's very clear from multiple media reports that the system is still not accurate when it makes payments to the insurance plans. In fact, they're doing a workaround. They're going to actually make large lump sum payments to the insurance plans based on self-reporting from the insurance companies instead of actual individual subsidy calculations. So they're working around the whole problem instead of actually solving it.
So they can't solve the back office problems. In other words, they can't do the calculations. They can't supply anybody with health care in the back, and you're going to select something, but they're not going to do anything about it because they can't. They don't have the right information. The website is not capable of processing. So they have eliminated that out of the website so the rest of it works. So now you put in your information. The information is going to go to the insurance company. Then the government is going to depend on these insurance companies that they've worked so hard to demonize over the last 3 years. If I were the insurance companies, I'd tell them to forget it. But they've demonized these insurance companies. But remember, we're in an environment of weasel type leadership, and that goes for the private sector as well as the government. So, of course, no insurance company is going to stand up to them. So they're going to give them the information. But what do you think about that as far as the corruption factor? So the insurance company is going to say, I'm not saying the insurance company is corrupt, but you never know. Things could happen. And maybe the insurance company says, yeah, we have X amount of enrollees. The number comes to $10 million, send us a check. And the government's going to write them a check for the $10 million. That's how they're working around this. And it's going to appear as though to the consumer, hey, the website's finally working. Really? No, it's not. It's not working at all. They're not able to get it working, so they just cut out a huge piece of it. So from a processing, calculating standpoint, that the website is not getting bogged down with that, thereby not shutting down, and they're just going to depend on the insurance companies to do it. It's amazing to me. And it is similar. I mean, this is a political. This is not about saving the U.S. money. This is not about trying to eliminate corruption. This is not about trying to do the right thing. This is not about the government just really working hard to fix a problem that they've created here. It's a workaround. It's a workaround. It's a workaround to the sense of what it's doing is it's giving it an appearance. It's another it's another deceptive measure to make it look good so that the government can get back its popularity. As a matter of fact, a former senator and White House advisor said this about this idea of, well, the president's approval rating. Go ahead, Devin.
Well, this has been a tough patch, and it's not just healthcare. You know, the shutdown affected everybody, confidence in government. But I think let's fast forward to the State of the Union in the months after that. Healthcare working better, a lot of people signing up, economy continuing to strengthen, hopefully no Washington shutdowns. People trust this president. I think there's been numbers all over the place, but I'm confident in a few months from now, those trust numbers are going to come up. I think his approval number will come.
People trust this president? That's funny. Obviously, this was somebody that hasn't read a poll in 6 weeks. Doesn't even look at him. Stopped looking at him 6 weeks ago. What Americans trust this president? See, and just the mere idea that he's mentioned, well, the president's approval numbers are going to come up. Yeah, they're going to come up because they're going to come up probably because of the deception that they're going to do. Look, if something's not working in this administration, you simply change the way you calculate it. If something's not working in this administration, you simply just put out something that appears as though it is working. That's what you do until the approval rating comes back up again. And then once the approval rating's back up, you can fall back into your comfort level of blaming Republicans for all this frenzy that was going on over the health care law that is now the greatest thing since sliced bread. I need to reiterate this. I said it 2 years ago. I'm going to say it again. I've said it a number of times. It may not be November 2014, but I am guaranteeing every sitting Democrat right now, or that even those that may get reelected, if that's possible in November. I'm saying this, start looking for a real job, because 2016, you're finished. Because in 2016, when the board of bureaucrats kicks into place, dictating the kind of health care that individuals are going to get, everyone is going to know someone's mother, father, mother-in-law, father-in-law, or maybe experiencing that themselves. The lack of health care, the waiting in line, the long list for a particular care until the government bureaucrats make a decision on whether that care is what they are willing to pay for. Everybody's going to know somebody in 2016. So if you're a Democrat, start looking for a new job, because you're done. If you're a Democrat running against a Democrat, you got a good shot of winning, because all you've got to say is, I would have never voted for that. It's a horrible plan. We shouldn't be doing it. And you're going to win. That's what's going to happen through all of this. Make no mistake about it. 866-300-9298. We're going to get to phones. We're going to stay with the phones. Let me go to Jimmy. Jimmy's calling us from North Carolina. Hey, Jimmy.
How are you this morning?
I'm good.
I appreciate the coffee that we received. It was great.
Oh, great. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm glad you liked it.
I'd like to ask you a few questions. Me and my wife, we watch your program 5 days a week. We are born-again Christians, and what I want to ask you is, I have a tax-deferred annuity with Farm Bureau, North Carolina Farm Bureau. Mm-hmm. And I'm way over the guaranteed, like the $300,000, is over that. They only guarantee $300,000.
Okay.
I'm getting 4% locked in. They can't go any less. I'm having a monthly draft added to my account. Am I wise in doing this?
Yes. You're wise in doing the draft. You have to keep the money in there because 4% is not something you can duplicate. The only thing I may suggest to you, Jimmy, is I understand, and you know this by now, that as you take that draft and you receive that money, you got to pay taxes on that.
Right.
Now, I would consider seriously that the draft that you're receiving, I don't know how much you're receiving.
No, I'm giving a draft. I'm not receiving a draft.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. No, I would probably, how old are you, Jimmy?
I'm 76. My wife is 72.
Okay. I think you need to start receiving some income from that. How long have you had it? Have you had it more than 7-8 years?
20 years, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I think you need to start moving some of that money out of the plan and over into a savings account. Now, so you've got it. Do you have to take a minimum required distribution or not? It's not an IRA?
No, I have a trust. Mm-hmm. And the trust, it works out like it goes from me to the wife to my 2 children, and it's like just handing the money over from me to them. I don't have to go probate or nothing.
Right. So is the trust, is the deferred annuity in the name of the trust?
Yeah. Yes.
So next to your name, it says trustee on it. It has little initials for trustee.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then I'm okay with it, because what I was going to get at was the tax issue that your children could face someday. But if that is not an IRA, because an IRA you can't put in a trust, so it's just purely a tax deferred annuity, then I'm okay with it since it's in the trust. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jimmy.
My children, if they don't have to take the money out if I should die and the wife die. They don't have to take the money out in a lump sum. Only thing they have to pay tax on would be whatever they take out.
Right. Yeah, I would be okay with keeping it. It's, in this case, since you have the trust, and I'm sure you have other assets that you're living off of, okay, from an income standpoint?
Retired from the Navy 20, civil service 20. My wife was she was a home care. She doesn't have any retirement at all.
Okay. Yeah, I would keep things the way they are, and I would say that when if the Lord calls you home first, then I would want your wife to begin to receive the whatever amount of income that she needs out of that on a monthly basis. And
that's why I had it set up that way, because she doesn't have any retirement at all.
Yep. I think you've done a good thing, Jimmy. I would keep doing exactly what you're doing. The only time it's going to be an issue is when you can start getting 5 or 5.5% in a CD, which is going to be a long time from now. And then maybe you rethink it a little bit, but I think you're fine just the way you are. I wouldn't change anything.
Could I ask you one more question?
Sure.
I have health care. I have Medicare, Blue Cross Federal, and TRICARE for life.
Yes.
I'm just wondering how this is going to work out in 2014. Have you heard anything about federal employees or anything?
Yeah, the TRICARE is not supposed to change at all. There is a possibility that the federal employee piece could change a little bit, but I think that you're probably not going to see a whole lot of change. I think where your change is going to be, though, which is nothing you can do about, but I think where your change is going to be is obviously in deductibles and in the quality of care. In other words, they're going to be subject to the same scrutiny about paying for certain things. So if you had a certain condition or a certain situation, and they're going to determine whether it's, I don't know what to say, good investment for them to make in your care. It's going to fall under scrutiny where it never has before. In other words, you're 95, you want to get your hip replaced, you're healthy enough to do it, then no big deal, you do it and they pay for it. Now, that's going to change. You're 95, you need your hip replaced. They're going to say, wait a minute, you're 95, there may be complications. We don't feel it's good use of the money. We're not going to approve it. So there is going to be some changes in that regard, but there's nothing you can do about it. So the best thing you can do is just stay healthy, and let's hope the Lord returns today. Thanks, Jimmy. Hopefully that helps you. I sure appreciate your call. Great question. You're doing a good thing. Keep up the good work. And thank you, brother, for your service in the military. We sure appreciate it. I'm grateful to you for that. 866-300-9298. You're listening to American Family Radio Network, Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. We'll be right back after this.